Music, please, Maestro. The lot for the lawyers who rode on the 8th Judicial Circuit was generally one of bad food, bad weather, and poor accommodations. However, this was not the case when it came to the Macon House Hotel in Decatur. The Macon House, with its proprietors at the time, Mr. and Mrs. David Crone, was a respite for the lawyers from their usual fare. Whenever the lawyers were in Decatur for court, they all vied to stay at this hotel. It was known throughout the circuit for its delicious food, clean beds, and genial atmosphere. In December 1849, an unusual event occurred for the lawyers who traveled on the 8th Circuit. Mrs. Jane Martin Johns had recently moved to Decatur with her husband. She had set up temporary residence in the Macon house when her piano arrived. Unable to locate anyone who could lift it from its wagon, Mrs. Johns asked the proprietor, David Crone, how she could get it moved into the hotel. He replied that, since court was in session, she could ask the lawyer staying at the hotel after court was adjourned for the day. When the lawyers had arrived, Mr. Crone explained the situation and was greeted with Abraham Lincoln exclaiming, "Come on, Leonard Sweet, a fellow lawyer. You are the next biggest man." That was Mrs. John's first meeting with Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln secured 2 heavy pieces of wood and helped unload the piano. Later, after the evening meal, Mrs. Johns gave a recital to the crowd that had assembled, playing many of the popular tunes of the era. As the evening came to an end, Mr. Lincoln thanked Mrs. Johns for the wonderful time had by all. Life for the lawyers while traveling on the 8th Circuit was generally one of tedium. Travel time between county seats was filled with monotony and boredom. Lincoln was not immune to boredom, which he would combat by studying while traveling. During his time on the circuit, Lincoln had time enough to nearly master the 6 books of Euclidean geometry. After arriving at the county seat, Lincoln would like to spend his free evenings discussing politics and joking with fellow attorneys. Whenever possible, Lincoln would go to any show or concert in the town. One of Lincoln's contemporaries, H.C. Whitney, stated that whenever there was a company called Newhall Family in the town, Lincoln would be in attendance since the singer, Mrs. Hills, was the only woman besides his wife who ever seemed to exhibit any liking for him.